Welcome to the deep dive, and hey, a special welcome to everyone listening from Chat Like a Native.
Great to be here.
Today we're tackling something, well, something we all do, right? Those little words, sounds that pop up when we're talking.
You mean like, those guys.
Exactly. Filler words. We're diving deep into them today.
Yeah, and, for ages, we've kind of been told, don't use them. They're bad. Makes you sound unprofessional.
Totally. Like it's a sign you don't know what you're talking about.
But what if that's not the whole picture? Our mission today is sort of flip that idea. We want to look at what they really are.
And why we use them.
Yeah.
Like what's going on in our brains.
Precisely. And when they might actually be, dare I say, useful.
Ooh, controversial. And really importantly, for you listening, especially if you're an intermediate English learner, we're going to give you some real strategies.
Yeah, practical ways to manage them. It's not about, cutting them out completely. That's probably not realistic.
Right. It's more about understanding how speech actually works in real time and getting that control so you sound clearer, more confident.
And yeah, maybe even a bit more native-like, whatever that really means, in different situations, both casual chat and like presentations.
So stick around. You're going to get some, I think, surprising insights and definitely some solid techniques that might change how you think about speaking.
Definitely. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What are we talking about when we say filler words?
Good question. Lay it out for us.
Well, they're essentially sounds like or short words or phrases like, well, so.
The things that sneak in when we pause or hesitate.
Exactly. When you're thinking, basically. People call them different things too. Hesitation markers, crutch words, pause fillers. Same idea.
Okay, so we know what they are, but you mentioned they might not always be bad. That goes against what a lot of us learn.
It really does, and it's fascinating why. Think about what your brain is doing when you speak. It's juggling so much.
Like finding words, making sentences.
Right. Forming ideas, choosing vocabulary, syntax, all while talking. It's complex. So sometimes your brain just needs a split second.
Ah, and the filler word buys that second.
Exactly. It's like a little placeholder. It signals to the listener, hang on, not done yet, just processing. It actually helps you hold your turn in the conversation.
So it stops people from jumping in.
It can, yeah. And isn't always I'm lost. Sometimes it's I'm thinking, please wait. It's almost a subconscious signal.
That is a total reframe. So it's less a sign of weakness, more a sign of active thought processing.
In many cases, yes. And there's more. Some fillers, especially the word-based ones like well or really or, they can do other jobs too.
Like what?
They can add nuance, soften a statement maybe, so it doesn't sound too direct.
Oh, right. Like saying, well, I think we should, instead of just we should.
Exactly. Or they can show a bit of uncertainty or build rapport. Think about, it can invite agreement or check understanding. Makes things feel friendlier, more collaborative.
So really could be emphasis, but it could also be like, really, I'm not sure, depending on tone.
Spot on. Tone is key. These little words pack a punch. They even add to that sort of natural human feel of a casual chat. Makes it less robotic.
Okay, I'm starting to see the good side, but let's be real, there are times when they're definitely not good, right? When do they become a problem?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a tipping point. Overuse is the big one.
When it's just constant,
Yeah, exactly. It becomes really distracting for the listener. It can make your speech sound choppy, repetitive.
And it can make you seem, well, less confident. Or maybe unprepared.
Definitely. It can give that impression of uncertainty, even if you actually know your stuff. It just sort of dilutes your message, lowers the impact.
And I guess this really matters where you're speaking.
Hugely. Think formal settings, a presentation, a job interview, maybe a debate. Too many fillers there can seriously dent your credibility.
Makes you seem less fluent, less polished.
Right. Whereas in a casual chat with friends, it's much less of a big deal. So context is absolutely crucial.
Let's talk types then. You mentioned and ah. Those are the classics.
Those are the non-word sounds, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have those little tags like or right. We often add them on the end to kind of check in with the listener.
And what about the big one, like? It gets so much flack, especially with younger speakers.
Like. Yes. Gets a really bad rap. Often unfairly, I think.
Really? How so?
Well, yes, it can be overused and become a verbal tick. But linguistically, it often functions as what we call a discourse marker.
Okay, what does that mean?
It can signal things like approximation or maybe introduce reported speech or thought, or even just mark focus or emphasis. It's actually quite versatile.
So it's not always just meaningless filler.
Not always, no. Its use varies a lot by age, region, social group. It's often judged more on social perception than on actual communicative failure.
Interesting. And then there are others like, well, so actually.
Right, those often act as softeners or transition words. They ease you into what you're about to say or signal a shift, basically, is another one like that.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what they are, the good, the bad, the like. Let's get practical. What can someone listening do to, well, manage them better, reduce them if needed?
Great question. Technique number 1, and maybe the most impactful, slow down.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, I notice when I rush, the ums definitely creep in more.
Exactly. Speaking too fast puts pressure on your brain. Just consciously slowing your pace, maybe aiming for like a 6 out of 10 speed instead of an 8 or 9, gives your brain breathing room to form thoughts.
Less need to fill the silence while you think.
Precisely. And that leads to the next point. Embrace the pause. The silent pause.
Instead of an or
Yes. Try closing your mouth, taking a quiet breath. It feels longer to you than it does to the listener, usually.
And you can use body language too, right? Like maintain eye contact, maybe a small nod to show you're just thinking.
Absolutely. Signals you're still engaged, just gathering your thoughts, much stronger than filling the air with
I like that. What else? I heard a funny term once, licus interruptus.
Yes, I know what you mean. It's about catching yourself before the filler fully comes out. You feel the like or starting.
And you just stop it, cut it off.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah.
Pause silently for a beat, then continue your sentence. It takes practice, but it helps break that automatic habit.
Okay, that's a cool trick. Any others?
Simple one. Stay hydrated, keep water handy. Taking a small sip is a perfectly natural way to pause and gain a second to think. Nobody notices.
Smart. And less obvious than a giant UMMM.
Definitely. Another thing is using more organizing language. Structuring your points.
How does that help?
If you consciously use phrases like first, second, or my main point is, or on the one hand, it gives your speech structure. You know where you're going.
So there's less need for those spontaneous navigational fillers because you have a map?
Kind of, yeah. It guides you and your listener. And finally, the big one, self-awareness. You need to know your habits.
How do you build that awareness? It's hard to hear yourself sometimes.
Recording yourself is gold. Seriously. Record a practice talk, a phone call, even a voice note. Then listen back, specifically for fillers.
Ooh, might be painful listening at first.
Maybe a little, but you'll spot your patterns. Which fillers do you use most? When do they pop up? Is it when you're searching for a word or transitioning?
And once you know, you can target them.
Exactly. Another way is practice with a partner. Ask a friend to gently signal, maybe raise a finger every time you use one of your common fillers.
That immediate feedback could be really powerful for building awareness in the moment.
It really can be. It trains your ear and your brain.
Okay, lots of great techniques there. But let's circle back to context, because you said it was key. For someone learning English, when is it actually okay to use fillers? When should they really try to cut back?
Great point. It really boils down to formal versus informal. In casual chats, with friends, colleagues, relaxed settings, a few fillers are totally fine.
Makes you sound more natural, maybe. Relatable.
Exactly. It shows you're thinking on your feet, part of the normal flow. Trying to be perfectly filler-free in casual talk can sound a bit stiff, actually.
But in formal situations, presentations, interviews, maybe important meetings?
That's where you want to minimize them much more. Fewer fillers generally project more confidence, preparation, and fluency in those contexts.
So the goal isn't 0 fillers ever, especially for an intermediate learner. It's about finding a balance.
Absolutely. Aim for natural-sounding speech that isn't overly repetitive or distracting. Reduce them where it counts most.
And remembering that point about, speech norms change, right?
Yeah.
What sounds wrong to one person might be totally normal within a certain group or generation.
Definitely. Language evolves. Judging someone's entire intelligence or capability based on whether they say like seems, pretty misguided. The real test is, are you being understood? Is your speech hindering you somehow?
If not, maybe relax a bit about perceived rules.
I think so. Focus on clear communication and impact, not some perfect, rigid ideal.
Makes sense. Okay, so to wrap things up, any final tips, maybe a quick practice idea for listeners?
Yeah, a few things. First, keep listening actively. Pay attention to how speakers you admire may be in podcasts. Interviews use pauses and fillers. You'll notice even skilled speakers use them strategically.
So noticing the pauses as much as the fillers.
Yes. Practice using those purposeful silent pauses yourself. Train yourself to take that breath instead of launching an
And be mindful of the situation. Plan ahead for formal settings.
Definitely. Know your environment. Decide beforehand, okay, this is important. I'm going to focus on clarity and pausing. And maybe track your habits for a bit.
Like keeping a tally.
Yeah, even just mentally noting it or jotting it down after a conversation. Awareness really is the first step to control.
Okay, and how about that quick practice routine for chat like a native listeners?
Right. Try this. First, record yourself speaking for just 1 minute. Any topic. Describe your day, a hobby, whatever.
Okay, step 1.
Step 2, listen back and count your fillers. Every single, be honest.
Step 2, count. Got it.
Step 3, identify your top, say, 2 or 3 most common ones. What are your personal go-to fillers?
Step 3, identify patterns.
Step 4, practice that same 1-minute talk again. But this time, consciously try to use at least 2 of the techniques we talked about. Maybe slow down and use silent pauses.
Step 4, practice with techniques.
And finally, step 5, re-record yourself doing it the second time and compare the 2 recordings.
Compare the before and after.
Exactly. You'll likely hear a real difference. More clarity, probably sound more confident, and yeah, maybe that smoother, more native-like flow we talked about.
That sounds like a really concrete, actionable exercise. Powerful.
It really can be. So, look, we've covered a lot. The main takeaway: filler words aren't inherently evil. They're a natural part of how we speak and think in real time.
They have a function.
They do.
Yeah.
But overuse, especially in certain contexts, can definitely weaken your message. So the goal is mindful management, not total elimination. Practice awareness. That's the key.
So a final thought for everyone listening. Start paying attention to your own speech this week. What patterns do you notice? Don't judge, just observe.
Yeah, how could just being more aware of these little habits change how you communicate? Could it give you more confidence, more intention, whether you're just chatting or giving that big presentation?
Food for thought. Keep practicing. Keep listening to real conversations.
And really, celebrate the voice you're developing. It's a journey. We hope these insights help you chat like a native with even more confidence and clarity.